Have you ever felt tired and almost wanted to give up, even though you've given it your all? Do you know that in just these first 30 seconds, I will share with you an important secret that could change everything for you right away? Maybe today you won't see the results, but every step you take brings you closer to your goal. Pause for a moment. If you're tired of not seeing results immediately, then this video is for you. And if you're looking for a new motivation to not give up, I will give you a reason to keep going every single day, no matter what the results are. Have you ever wondered why some people succeed even when they have nothing in their hands, while others give up just because of a few small challenges? If you want to find the answer, I will show it to you in this video. Chapter 1. The days when no one watched. I remember very clearly the night I uploaded my very first video on YouTube. The old laptop clicked and clacked. The webcam was blurry like the fog in December. The sound was so bad that even I, the one filming it, had to strain my ears to hear anything. But I still hit upload. My heart was pounding, as if I had just sent an important message to the world. I imagined someone on the other side of the world watching my video and saying, "Wow, this person is amazing." The next morning, I woke up, opened my laptop, and clicked on YouTube Creator Studio. 3 views. All 3 were from me. 1 view before uploading, 1 at midnight to make sure there were no spelling errors, and 1 just hoping someone would watch and hit like. No one did anything. No one liked. No one commented. No one subscribed. I used to think, maybe this isn't for me. YouTube is for the beautiful people, the ones who talk engagingly or at least have good equipment. And me? Just a guy with nothing, stumbling over my words like a robot, with no special talents, no one knowing me. But you know what? That feeling of no one caring about me, it hurt, but also truly woke me up. I asked myself, if everyone gave up after the first video that no one watched, where would all the millions of successful YouTube channels be today? Maybe today, I don't see results, but that doesn't mean I'm not getting closer to them. I remember back in school, I failed a subject just because I gave up after one bad test. I regretted it so much. But this time I decided I won't quit just because no one watched my first video. So I made the second video, and then the third. The quality was still bad, the camera angles were still awful, the sound was still low. But I learned something. Every new video I made, I learned one more thing. Not everyone is willing to persist through the first 10 videos when no one cares. But I was ready. Not because I was good, but because I was tired of living in a loop. Start, disappointment, quit. One afternoon, I sat in a coffee shop, not to enjoy fancy coffee, but because the power was out at home. I plugged my laptop into the only available socket and edited my video amidst the noise of customers around me. Sweat dripped down my back. I had spent 4 hours just cutting and editing a 3-minute video. A guy sitting nearby glanced at my screen. Then he laughed. "Are you doing YouTube? Has anyone watched it yet?" I awkwardly smiled, not knowing how to respond. In my head, I could hear a mocking thought. This guy probably thinks I'll get famous. There were nights when I stared at the ceiling and asked myself, what the heck am I doing? But then I thought of this quote, if you stop today, you'll never know where you could have gone tomorrow. So I kept going. I learned how to use my phone as a mic. I learned how to edit videos with free software. I learned how to write more attractive titles, make better thumbnails. I scheduled uploads. I tried different types of videos. No one taught me. Everything was trial and error. Try, fail, then try again. And I started to see 4 views, then 6, then 11. I knew, to others, those numbers were too small. But to me, those were the first sparks after a long, lost journey. Every video I uploaded, I imagined I was laying a brick. Maybe people couldn't see the whole house yet, but I knew I was building it day by day, hour by hour. One day, a stranger left a comment. "Great video, I hope you make more." I almost cried when I read it, not because of the compliment, but because I knew there was at least one person, someone in the world, who had heard me. And that was enough to keep me going. End of chapter 1. Next will be chapter 2. 1 video, 1 hope, 1 step forward, where my video finally hit 100 views and I began to understand. Results don't come from luck, but from each persistent step. Chapter 2. 1 video, 1 hope, 1 step forward. I will never forget the day my video first surpassed 100 views. Not 100,000, not 10,000, just 100 views. It might seem small, right? But for someone who had just gone 27 days without even getting 10 views on any video, that was a miracle. And the strangest thing was, I never expected it to happen with that video. That video was just a simple recording. I sat in front of the camera, wearing a white t-shirt, messy hair, bad lighting, talking about a topic I thought no one would care about. Why you should fail early? I just said what was on my mind, that it's better to fail now than live in illusion all your life. I told the story of how I once failed the university entrance exams, how I was called a guy who would never amount to anything, and how that feeling of being looked down on pushed me to not want to die in silence. That video was uploaded almost as a form of emotional release. No fancy thumbnail, no catchy title, just an honest video, not heavily edited. I even thought I might delete it after a few days. But then, things happened. 3 days later, I woke up, as usual, checked my phone for the channel updates, and my eyes widened like I'd won the lottery. 104 views. I refreshed. 118. I refreshed again. 136. I remember my heart felt like it was going to jump out of my chest. I kept refreshing over and over like I was out of control. I even thought YouTube had a glitch. By that evening, the video had over 500 views. I looked at the stats. There were comments from people in Hanoi, Saigon, Da Nang. Some asked, "Why you talk just like me? Wow, this guy's telling my story right now. I like this video because it's so real." I sat there, eyes stinging, reading every comment. At that moment, I didn't need fame, money, or to be called a professional YouTuber. I just needed one thing, to be heard. After that, I spent the whole night analyzing why that video went viral. It wasn't luck, I knew that, because I had uploaded almost 20 videos before that, and they had sunk without a trace like a stone thrown into the sea. I realized a few things. 1. The title hit the pain point, why you should fail early. It sounded different, like a piece of reverse advice. 2. A personal story. I didn't try to teach anyone. I just told my story, and it turned out a lot of people were struggling just like me. 3. Authenticity. No good lighting, no acting. Just me, a real person. At this point, if it were a video, I'd insert a slow motion scene of me sitting and speaking in that video, zooming in on my eyes with a deep, reflective background music, creating a powerful sense of nostalgia. I began to understand something I hadn't thought of before. People don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be real. I wrote down a line in my notebook, highlighted it in red, and framed it. Today, no one knows you, but with every video you make, you're laying a stone to build a bridge to them. After that night, I sat down to replan from scratch. Make 2 videos a week. Each video must tell at least one true story of mine. Don't try to teach anything unless I've lived through it. And most importantly, don't chase views. Chase real emotions. I went back again with my old phone and a laptop that was so hot it could fry an egg. But there was one difference. I had a new belief. The belief that if I keep going, keep being honest, keep sharing this journey, I will find people who will listen. And as long as one person listens, that's enough. At this point, you can insert a quote that appears on a dark background with a gentle flying text effect. Every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your goal. I don't know when the channel will truly grow. I don't know when I'll hit 1,000 subscribers. But I do know, today I took one more step. And that's the most important thing. End of chapter 2. Next will be chapter 3. Discipline, not passion, saved me, where I started to face the painful truth. Passion is not enough to get me out of bed every morning, and discipline is what saved me from quitting. Chapter 3. It's not passion, it's discipline that saved me. Do you know what happened after one of my videos hit 500 views? I made 5 more videos, and all of them flopped. 50 views, 23 views. One video even had just 9 views, and I'm sure 6 of them were from me clicking on it myself. It felt like YouTube was teasing me. I thought I had wound myself up, thought I had found the formula for success, but it turned out nothing is guaranteed. At first, I try to comfort myself. It's okay. Just keep going. Make a few more, and it'll pick back up. I made 2 more videos. Flop. I tried switching topics. Another flop. I started to feel discouraged. The feeling of having seen the light, only to be pushed back into darkness. It was worse than when no one had seen anything. And that's when I realized something. Passion doesn't save you when the views drop. Passion doesn't get you out of bed when you finish the video, but no one cares. Passion isn't sustainable. One morning, I woke up, looked at the clock. 7:15 morgens. I was supposed to shoot a new video, but I just lay there, staring at the ceiling. My mind wasn't interested anymore. The excitement wasn't there like it was on day 1. I asked myself, am I just doing something pointless? Then, I remembered a story I had heard from a famous YouTuber in the US. I spent 2 years making videos every week. No views, no money, no one cared, but I still kept going because I made a promise to myself. Even if no one watches, I will become the most disciplined person I know. That hit me like a slap in the face. I got out of bed, not because I felt excited, but because I knew if I stayed in bed today, I'd stay in bed tomorrow. I turned on the light, set up the tripod, turned on the camera. My face was still swollen from sleep, my voice hoarse like I'd been through hell. But I sat down and hit record. That day, the video got 17 views. I didn't care. I wrote in my notebook in bright red ink, I'm not doing this for views. I'm doing this because I said I would. And so, I made 1 video every week, no matter the weather, no matter my feelings. When I was tired, I made it. When I was sad, I made it. When I had no ideas, I sat down and wrote until I found one, then recorded. I turned it into a survival ritual, like brushing my teeth, eating breakfast. Not because I liked it, but because it was something I forced myself to do. Slowly, something strange happened. I stopped caring so much about views. I no longer felt heartbroken every time I posted a new video. I didn't refresh 10 times a day anymore. I began to focus on just 3 things. 1. Make the video better than the last one. 2. Be more honest in every word I say. 3. Show up on time, no matter what. There was a week when I had the flu, with a fever of nearly 39 degrees Celsius. Do you think I took a break from filming? No. I filmed in bed, my voice hoarse, my face contorted. That video, after 2 months, was the one that helped me reach 100 subscribers. At this point, if it were a video, I'd insert a slow motion scene of me sick, sitting and filming, adding a noise effect, soft music with a narration. I wasn't feeling well, but I still filmed. Because I knew if I took a break today, I'd have another excuse to take a break next time. You see, it wasn't passion that kept me going. It was discipline. And discipline is what will take you further than all those fleeting bursts of excitement. I realized successful people don't succeed because they have motivation forever. They succeed because they don't need motivation to act. From that point on, I live by the principle. Don't ask if you're inspired today. Ask, did you act today? Each day, I just needed to win over myself a little bit. Get up on time. Film on schedule, whether the video flopped or not. And you know what? It was from those steady steps, without any glamour, that I truly moved closer to the first result that would change the entire journey. End of chapter 3. Next will be chapter 4, the turning point. Viral is not luck, where a seemingly normal video unexpectedly goes viral, but what made it take off wasn't random at all. It was the result of all the quiet steps taken before.
Chapter 4. The turning point. Viral wasn't luck. I used to think, one day I'll have a viral video. But I never expected it would come from a video I shot when I was almost in despair. It was a Friday night. I sat in front of my laptop, staring at the video schedule I had forced myself to maintain for nearly 3 months. No video for this week. No ideas either. My mind was blank, like a sheet of empty paper. It was a very real, very painful feeling. I had made nearly 30 videos. My channel hadn't even hit 200 subscribers. YouTube income? Pretty much zero. My family still had no idea what I was doing. My friends jokingly called me the depressed YouTuber. I turned on the camera. No lights. No script. I just spoke from the heart. Maybe today you don't see the results, but every step brings you closer to your goal. I don't know exactly where I'm going, But I know this. If I give up now, I'll never find out how close I already was. I finished speaking, sat there for a few seconds. No acting, no cuts, just silence. Then I pressed upload. The video was less than 4 minutes long. Title: I almost quit after 30 videos no one watched. No special thumbnail. No SEO tricks. No optimization at all. I uploaded it, shut my laptop, and went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up as usual, picked up my phone. 1.2K views. I rubbed my eyes. I couldn't believe it. 3.8K. 7,000. I felt like I was dreaming. I checked the comments. Over 300 comments overnight. I cried when I heard you say that. Thank you. This video came just as I was about to give up. I don't know who you are, but I'm following this channel all the way. I sat there, my hands trembling, and then I cried. Not because I went viral, not because of the numbers, but because someone finally heard me. If this were a video, this would be the moment for a slow heartbeat sound, deep breathing, then a cut to the YouTube analytics chart spiking, the narration dropping to a whisper. I didn't know this video would go viral. I just knew I didn't quit right before the miracle happened. I started analyzing why that video went viral, and I realized it wasn't luck. 1. The title hit a real pain point. Wanting to quit, it's something almost everyone has felt before. 2. The video was short, raw, and real. No fluff, no tricks, straight to the emotion. 3. Built-up experience. All the videos I made and failed taught me how to speak from the heart. There would have been no viral video without the 29 flopped ones before it. There would have been no real emotions if I hadn't truly felt like quitting so many times. And I deeply understood something. Viral is not the result of luck. It's the reward for not quitting during the long stretch when no one is watching. I still remember a comment from a stranger. I watched this video 3 times. Every time, it felt like you were speaking directly to me. I replied with just one line. Thank you. This video was what I told myself before I broke down. That night, I wrote a big line in my notebook. If you don't see results today, don't leave the race. Because maybe tomorrow, just one more step, and you'll reach the place where thousands before you had to stop. This chapter marked the first emotional high point of the journey. Views went up, subscribers grew, emotions soared, but deep inside I knew the harder part was only just beginning. End of chapter 4. Next up, chapter 5. When views are no longer the goal, where I face the hidden pressure that comes with a growing channel and learn how to separate myself from numbers to protect the real value inside. Perfect. Now, here comes chapter 5. When views are no longer the goal, a chapter that digs deep into an extremely important lesson that many YouTubers and anyone chasing a big goal fall into after their first taste of success. They get controlled by views instead of using videos to deliver real value. Chapter 5. When views are no longer the goal. After that video went viral, I hit 5,000 subscribers in just 2 weeks. The feeling was indescribable. I was thrilled, trembling, overwhelmed with excitement. Every day, I was glued to the numbers, views, subs, and even revenue. For the first time, YouTube paid me. The amount wasn't much, just a few dozen dollars. But to me, it was a confirmation. See? Finally, something is happening. I started to change, though I didn't realize it right away. I began choosing topics based on what was popular in search. I started saying what I thought the audience wanted to hear. I optimized thumbnails down to every pixel. And then I posted a video with a super catchy title. 5 mistakes that are stopping you from succeeding on YouTube. That video hit 30,000 views in just 4 days. I didn't feel happy. I reread the script and realized I wasn't being honest in that video. I was teaching things that I hadn't even truly lived myself. If this were a video, at this part you could insert a fast-cut montage of catchy, clickbait titles, the sound of subs and views pinging quickly, and then suddenly stop with a sharp click, cutting to a shot of me staring blankly at the screen. I felt lost. I wasn't making videos to share my real journey anymore. I was making videos just to keep the momentum, to avoid losing views. And that was a dangerous trap. One night, I received an anonymous message on Instagram. I used to love your videos. Now you feel just like any other channel." I didn't reply. I just sat there quietly. Not angry, not sad, just confronted by a truth I didn't want to face. I went back and rewatched some of the first videos I ever posted. Awkward, poorly lit, stuttering videos, but they were real. I realized, back then, I wasn't afraid to flop. I just wanted to share the journey, whether anyone watched or not. But now, I wrote in big letters in my journal, "If today I make videos to be liked, tomorrow I'll lose the reason I started." I shut down my laptop, didn't film anything for 3 days. Not to rest, but to recenter myself. During those 3 days, I didn't write any scripts. I just looked within. I asked myself, what do I really want to say? If no one watched, would I still make this? If tomorrow I disappeared from YouTube, what message would I want to leave behind? And I realized I didn't come here to chase views. I came here to share the journey of someone who started with nothing and kept going anyway. I came back and made a video titled, "This video isn't for everyone." I sat there unscripted. I talked about how I'd lost my way when the views climbed. I confessed that I had drifted from my authenticity. And I ended with this. I'm making this video for you, the one who's still taking small steps, even when no one is watching. And I'm making it for myself too, to remind me, true success doesn't come from views. It comes from the value you leave behind. That video didn't go viral. It got just 2,000 views after a week. But there was one comment I'll never forget. "This video won't go viral, but it will change someone's life." And I'm one of them. From that moment on, I reset my goals. No chasing views. No pandering to the crowd. O no chasing trends. I made videos because I believed they could help someone not give up. And strangely enough, the views still grew. The subs still rose. The revenue still came. But this time, they didn't control me anymore. End of chapter 5. Next up, chapter 6. The people who found me. And I was no longer alone, where I began receiving emails, messages, and stories from others, and realized I'm building a community of people who are also taking small, unseen steps forward. Chapter 6. Those who found me. And I was no longer alone. I used to think I was doing YouTube alone. No team, no manager, no investors. Just me, an old laptop, and a small rented room at the end of an alley. But then everything changed. Not because I became better. Not because my videos went viral. But because of a message. A message that changed everything. One Sunday morning, I received a strange email with a very short subject line. "Thank you for saving me." I opened it. I was about to give up. I've been working on my YouTube channel for 9 months, and no one watches. My family says I'm delusional. Friends laugh behind my back. But last night, I watched your video where you said, "If you don't see results today, please don't stop." I cried. I watched it 3 times. I decided not to give up. I sat there, speechless, not knowing how to respond, just knowing that someone out there was eerily similar to me. Real connections through the screen. Then, one day, someone sent me a reaction video. He recorded himself right after watching my video, eyes red, saying only one sentence. I thought no one understood me. Turns out, someone had been exactly where I am. I replayed it 4 times. Couldn't say anything, but inside, I felt a strange warmth, realizing I'm not alone. And then, little by little, I realized I was no longer alone. Messages that touched my heart. Someone messaged, "You don't know me, but I see you as a spiritual friend. Each of your videos makes me feel less useless." Another wrote, "I started filming my first video after watching yours. Not for money, not for views, just because I wanted to try again." There was even someone who had contemplated suicide. Yes, I'm not exaggerating. They said they had written a farewell note, but happened to see my video in YouTube's recommendations. That video wasn't a lecture. It felt like someone sitting next to me, not judging, just saying, "I was once like you, so I stayed." The power of a video. I read those lines and no longer dared to see myself as just an ordinary YouTuber. I realized videos can save lives, not in a heroic way, but in a way where someone needs a sentence to not let go. If this were a video, at this point, you could insert real emails/DMs sent by people with scrolling text effects, a poignant background music, highlighting lines like, "Thanks to you, I haven't collapsed. Thank you for not giving up, so I don't feel alone. Creating a community, the resilient ones. I decided to create a small group, the resilient ones. No PR, no promotion, just simply anyone who has ever fallen but still moves forward is welcome. On the first day, 7 people joined. After a week, it grew to 50. After a month, over 500 people. And the strange thing is no one boasts. No one belittles others. Only genuine people taking silent steps together. A shared journey. One day, a young member wrote in the group, "Today is the 41st day I've uploaded videos continuously without anyone watching. I almost cried, but then I remembered your words. If you don't see results today, it doesn't mean you're on the wrong path." I continued. I just reacted with a oncoming fist emoji to that comment. But honestly, I wanted to hug them. A profound realization. And I understood something profoundly. No one is truly strong all their life. But if someone walks beside us at the right moment of weakness, we won't give up. I'm no longer doing YouTube alone. Now, every time I write a script, I think of friends who were once like me. Every time I press upload, I no longer hope for views. I just hope for one thing, that this video can be a small ray of light in someone's darkest day. We have each other. We're not famous, not wealthy, but we have each other. And that's enough to keep going. Into chapter 6. Next up is chapter 7, the untold truths of the success journey, where I discuss the darker sides, burnout, comparisons, loneliness, and how to overcome them by being honest with oneself. Chapter 7, the untold truths of the success journey. When you start seeing results, people assume your life has become easier. But I want to be honest. The further you go, the greater the pressure, and the lonelier you become. The hidden struggles behind the scenes. I didn't share this in my early videos. I feared discouraging viewers. I feared people would think I was complaining. But if I don't share, you might believe this journey is all sunshine. It's not. There were times I had constant headaches from stress. Times I suffered from sleep disorders due to deadlines and expectations. Days I woke up, opened YouTube Studio, saw declining views and subscribers, and felt empty inside. The breaking point. One evening, after 11 hours of editing, I uploaded a video, then sat still. That video received almost no views. Just a few dozen in the first hour, and an anonymous comment. Boring content. Stop forcing it. I shut down my computer, and for the first time in months, I cried. Not because of the flop, not because of a negative comment, but because I was exhausted. The unspoken realities of pursuing something big. No one clearly tells you this when you start something significant. You'll feel you're not good enough. You'll see others progressing faster, looking better, more professional. You'll compare yourself, even if you don't want to. A fellow YouTuber's confession. A friend of mine, also a YouTuber, once confided, "I have 100K subscribers, yet every day feels like a battle not to collapse." People see my channel as cheerful and colorful, but they don't know there are nights I can't sleep, fearing the next morning's drop in views, recommendations, everything. I listened in silence, because I understood. I've been there too. The silent pressure of success. The hidden pressure of success is, you're always afraid of losing it. When no one knows you, you're free to try, fail, take risks. But when you have followers, fans, subscribers, you start fearing, what if I'm not good enough anymore? Trapped in the cycle. I was once stuck in that cycle, creating videos because of deadlines, not passion, forcing every word to sound professional. And after each video, I didn't feel joy, only fatigue. I realized, success without peace is a disguised failure. Taking a risk, stepping away. I decided to do something risky, disappear for 2 weeks. No videos. No posts. I messaged the Resilient Ones group. I need to reset, to breathe, to return to my original reason. No one was upset. On the contrary, someone wrote, "If you need to rest to keep being you, we'll wait." A journey inward. I went to a nearby mountain area. No internet, no noise, just me, a notebook, and one big question. How do I truly want to continue this path? Rediscovering my purpose. I wrote throughout that night. Not a post. Just to understand myself again. I wrote down 3 things. 1, I didn't start YouTube to become famous. I did it to help people not give up as I once wanted to. 2, I don't want to live behind a motivational mask. I want to share even when I'm tired, weak, so others see they're not alone. 3, I don't want to create videos just to fit algorithms. I want videos to be a place where I tell the truth, even if they flop. Returning with honesty. When I returned, I made a special video. The dark side of the success journey and how I overcame it. I didn't hide anything. I spoke about the times I collapsed, the pressures, comparisons, lost faith, but also about what saved me, honesty, and companions, the impact of vulnerability. That video didn't go viral, but a week later, I received an email from a stranger. I also thought I was broken, but after that video, I dared to take a break to heal. Thank you for not just showing the glamorous side, the power of truth. And I understood, if you're brave enough to share the dark side of the journey, you're offering the most precious thing, the truth. Because truth hurts, but it heals. Sweet falsehoods mislead. End of chapter 7. Next up is chapter 8, Small Steps and the Big Leap, where I recount how each silent step gradually led to a milestone I never expected. The turning point that brought me to my first $1 million income. This will be the most explosive chapter, where all the silent efforts begin to bloom.
Chapter 8, Small Steps and the Big Leap. Do you know the moment that made me believe all my efforts weren't in vain? It wasn't when I reached 100,000 subscribers. It wasn't when a clip went viral with millions of views. It was when I looked back at my old videos, the ones no one watched, and realized I had come further than I ever imagined. At that time, I was editing in an old cafe, a familiar spot from my early days. That day, my computer lagged. I reopened some old videos to check. One of them, the 18th video with only a few hundred views, I had never dared to watch again. But that day, I let it play. I watched a younger version of myself, nervously saying, "You might not see results today, but please don't stop, because each step brings you closer." I chuckled, but then tears fell without me realizing. I had said that not for others, but for myself. A few weeks later, something unexpected happened. A famous TikToker re-uploaded a 47-second clip from my video, where I spoke about even if no one believes in you, you must believe in yourself. That clip exploded, and most importantly, they credited my YouTube channel. Within 5 days, my subscriber count increased 7-fold. Collaboration emails poured in. Brands started reaching out. Podcasts invited me for interviews. I looked back, not with smugness, but with astonishment. Not because it happened, but because it happened after so many months of nothing happening. I don't believe in random luck. I believe in one small step each day in the right direction. Because if I hadn't made that video, even with low views, even if no one noticed, then nothing today would have happened. The real turning point came from an email with a simple subject line. Content collaboration proposal, $5,000 budget per video. I thought it was spam, but when I opened it and checked carefully, I was speechless. A foreign company had watched my video through the viral chain and proposed a long-term collaboration. I took 3 days to think, not because of the money, but because I didn't want to lose the essence of my channel. Authenticity, inspiration, not selling my soul to algorithms. After several calls, they agreed to let me have full creative control, as long as I maintained the original spirit. And so, I accepted. In the first month, I earned over $25,000. In the second month, I expanded my team, hired an editor, a content manager. In the third month, I earned nearly as much as the entire previous year combined. But do you know what made me happiest? Not the money, not the numbers, but one afternoon when I reunited with my mother after nearly a year of not daring to return home. I printed a photo, a screenshot of the video where I cried, and gave it to my mother with a handwritten note. I didn't give up, and I hope you're proud. My mother didn't fully understand what YouTube was, but she understood my tears. She hugged me, said nothing, just gently nodded. I knew that moment was the real $1 million. You see, no leap comes from nowhere. Every leap originates from steady steps, no matter how small. You don't need to be great from the start. You just need to keep going long enough for greatness to find you. For the video, you can add scenes of revisiting old videos, replaying previously flopped segments, then smoothly transitioning to today's results. Use background music that gradually builds from gentle to climactic. And if someone asks me the secret to success on YouTube, I won't say it's SEO, not clickbait, not going viral. I'll just say, you might not see results today, but if you keep going, taking one step each day, you're moving toward your goal faster than you think. End of Chapter 8. Next will be Chapter 9. Success is a journey, not a milestone, where I analyze why, after earning $1 million, I still continue, and why stopping is the real failure. Certainly. Now let's move on to Chapter 9. Success is a journey, not a milestone, where I share why, after achieving significant accomplishments, I still keep moving forward. And more importantly, why stopping is the real failure. Chapter 9. Success is a journey, not a milestone. When you see a successful person, what do you think? You probably think they've reached their destination, right? But the truth is, there is no final destination. Because the moment you believe you've hit a major milestone, the game continues, and everything starts over again. After securing the $5,000 per video contract, after earning over $25,000 in the first month of collaboration, I didn't jump up and down with excitement. In reality, I simply sat alone in my workspace, staring at my computer screen, feeling like nothing had changed. Yes, I had money. I had contracts. I had dream-worthy numbers. But inside me, there was only one lingering question. What's next? If you think success is a destination, you'll eventually lose your passion for the journey. I realized there are bigger things to strive for, not money, not fame, but the ability to keep going. Real success isn't about reaching something. It's about whether you can keep moving forward afterward. I used to think that one day I would sit at the top, looking back, proud and satisfied with what I had achieved. But then I realized, if I stopped, I would never grow bigger, and the world would forget about me in an instant. This world doesn't allow you to stand still. When you stand still, you start falling behind. Once, I attended an event hosted by another YouTuber, someone with over 10 million subscribers. They were incredibly famous and successful. But after hearing them share about their work and upcoming goals, I suddenly realized, even after all their achievements, they still had new goals to chase. They weren't standing still. They weren't complacent. They kept striving for new challenges. And I asked myself, why would I stop? Why would I seek satisfaction in a number? If a YouTuber with 10 million subscribers doesn't stop, then with what I had, what reason did I have to be complacent? From the very beginning, I knew that success wasn't a milestone. It was an endless journey. What I've learned along the way is this. Comfort is the enemy of success. The satisfaction of achieving something can cause you to stop, to cease moving forward. I've seen many people attain a certain level of success, then begin to stop improving. They consider what they've achieved enough and wonder why they no longer feel fulfilled. It's because they stopped progressing. And that's why I don't stop. Every video I create, every contract I sign, every call I take, I don't view them as destinations. I see them as steps, as progress. Every morning I wake up, I ask myself, what can I do today to become better and to push my channel further? When you stop, you may feel you've reached the peak, but if you keep moving, you'll realize there's no peak at all. And that is the true power of the journey. One thing I learned from the most successful people wasn't their money-making tactics or branding strategies. It was how they always remained curious, always seeking to grow. Every time I thought I'd achieve something big, I realized it was just a small part of a much longer journey. And there's another important reminder I always tell myself. You don't need to see immediate results. You just need to keep moving forward. And success will come when you least expect it. After achieving a few milestones, I stopped feeling excited about the numbers. Instead, I started feeling excited about the process itself, about what I could create next, about the endless possibilities to improve, to share, to deliver value. End of Chapter 9. Next up is Chapter 10. Never be too optimistic, but never be too pessimistic either. a chapter that will help you face the truth about pressure and stress at work without getting lost in negativity or self-imposed expectations. It's time to talk about balance and how not to drown in the pursuit of perfection. Wonderful. Now let's move on to chapter 10. Never be too optimistic, but never be too pessimistic either. A chapter where we explore balance, the way we deal with pressure, stress, and the risk of losing direction on the journey to success. I'll share how not to get swept away by negative thoughts, but also how to stay realistic without being blinded by excessive optimism. Chapter 10. Never be too optimistic, but also don't be too pessimistic. When you've achieved a few accomplishments, you begin to realize that the truth behind the journey isn't always as simple as people think. People often say that happiness is the result of hard work, but in reality, things aren't always that easy. Especially when you've had a bit of success and suddenly the pressure starts to weigh down on you. One time, after signing a contract with a big partner, I sat in my office looking at the wall filled with awards and achievements I had earned. But instead of feeling joy, I felt empty. I began to doubt myself. I asked, is this really all I'm capable of? Am I still on the right path? Or have I gone too far? And then, the fear of failure started to return. It was at that moment that I realized, even though success seems amazing, when you start reaching major milestones, the pressure only grows. We can't just think about current success. We have to constantly worry about sustaining it, growing, and moving further. So, I learned an important lesson. Don't be too optimistic, but don't be too pessimistic either. Excessive optimism is the enemy of success. We've all heard people say, everything will be fine, just keep doing what you're doing. But in reality, excessive optimism can blind you and dull your awareness. You can easily deceive yourself into thinking you don't need to do anything more. Just enjoy your current success. But that's a trap. When you only focus on current achievements, you can easily overlook the changes happening around you. Shifts in audience preferences, changes in a market, or even changes within yourself. And by the time you realize you've fallen behind, it's already too late. This is one of the reasons why many people, after reaching a certain level of success, are unable to sustain it. They believe they've already made it, they stop trying to improve, and they gradually get left behind. We need to have measured optimism, not becoming complacent, not believing we've already done it all. You must always stay alert to what's coming, always strive to go further. Being too pessimistic is also a mistake. There were also times when I felt like I couldn't go on. In the early weeks after partnering with a major brand, I didn't get the results I had hoped for. And in those moments, I easily slipped into a pessimistic mindset. At that point, I thought, I'm not good enough, not talented enough, maybe success was just a dream. And that's exactly where I went wrong. When you think like that, you lose motivation and easily give up when things get tough. Pessimism makes you stop, and once you stop, the journey ends. That's why I had to learn how to find a balance between optimism and pessimism. You can't let pessimism stop you, but you also can't let optimism blind you to potential risks. How I balance my emotions and stay motivated. One of the ways I maintain balance is by constantly reminding myself that everything can change. You can't rely on comfort if you want long-term success. Every day, you have to keep pushing forward, even when it feels like nothing is improving. Remember, success is not a destination. It's a never-ending journey. When you feel tired, discouraged, or anxious about the future, pause and take a deep breath. Don't let frustration take over. Instead, look back at what you've already accomplished and remind yourself, this is just one part of the journey, not the final stop. Final lesson, find motivation within yourself. The truth is, you'll always have moments of doubt, days when you feel like you can't keep going. But remember, you're the one who decides whether to move forward or stop. Success isn't a final result, it's an ongoing process. And when you learn how to find that balance, not too optimistic, not too pessimistic, you'll go much further on this path. End of chapter 10. Next up is chapter 11. What is success? Where I'll take a deep dive into the true nature of success and why it isn't what you see on the surface, but rather the result of everything you've done up to this point. In this next chapter, I'll reveal the hidden side of success that few people talk about. Chapter 11. What is success? When I was just starting out as a YouTuber, I used to dream about big numbers, million-dollar contracts, and the fame that people often talked about. Success back then simply meant views, followers, and awards on the wall. But as I delved deeper into this journey, I realized that real success isn't a number or a milestone that you can reach. Success is not the numbers you see on the screen. When my YouTube channel started getting millions of views, I thought I had reached success. But looking at those numbers, I felt empty. Success didn't bring the sense of fulfillment I had imagined. People around me might have thought I was living in glamour, but deep inside, true happiness felt very vague. I had achieved what society considered success: fame, money, the opportunity to work with big partners. But I realized that these were just the tip of the iceberg. The truth: success is a process, not a final goal. One of the things I realized when doing YouTube is that success isn't something you can achieve once and for all. It is a process, an endless journey where you always have to grow, change, and surpass yourself. Success is the sum of the small steps you take each day. It's the late nights spent editing videos, the early mornings sitting with a cup of coffee, thinking about how to improve the quality of your content. It's the commitment to work hard, continuously learn, and experiment. It's not the numbers or accomplishments you achieve at a specific moment. Facing failure and the feeling of loss. Perhaps one of the hardest lessons I learned on this journey was facing failure. There were times when the videos I uploaded weren't received as expected. There were moments when I felt lost in searching for new ideas, feeling like I couldn't create good content anymore. These small failures might make you feel like you're going in the wrong direction, but they are often the most important lessons. Failure is an essential part of success. It gives you the chance to learn, improve, and grow. I've learned that success isn't about never failing, but about how you get back up after each fall. Innovation and continuous growth. One of the reasons I continue to learn and grow is because I realize that growth has no end point. After achieving my first successes, I began to notice that if I didn't continuously innovate, I would fall behind. Success is continuous development. Every day, I need to find new ways to connect with my audience, make content more engaging, use the latest technologies, and optimize my work. And every time I do so, it feels like I'm reaching for higher goals, even though I might not see immediate results. Success is about relationships. In this journey, I also realized that success doesn't just come from numbers, but also from the relationships you build. Connecting with people who share the same vision, exchanging common values, and learning from them is an essential part of your growth. Success isn't about standing alone at the top. It's about working with others to create value, overcoming challenges together. The lesson about defining success. In the end, I realized that success is not something you can immediately see. It's not something that can be measured by numbers, awards, or what others say about you. True success is when you feel you're living in alignment with your purpose. When you do work you love, when you create value for others, and when you feel happy with what you've done. Success is inner satisfaction, the feeling of fulfillment knowing that you're on the right path, no matter how challenging that path may be. End of Chapter 11. Next is Chapter 12. Keep going every day, even when you don't see results, where I'll share how to maintain motivation and persistence, even when immediate results aren't visible. This chapter will be the key to maintaining your momentum when you don't see results right away, and how to continue each day with patience and perseverance. Sure, now we'll move on to Chapter 12. Keep going every day, even when you don't see results, an important chapter to explore how to stay motivated and persistent, even when you don't see immediate results. Chapter 12. Keep going every day, even when you don't see results. We've all been there. Long days, tiring work, and results that seem non-existent. When you don't see immediate results, your patience is put to the test. There will even be times when you ask yourself, am I on the right path? Am I doing enough? But it's in those moments that are the most important in your journey. This is the time to strengthen your belief in yourself, starting with patience. When I first started on YouTube, it wasn't always about millions of views right away. My first videos only had a few hundred views. Some days, I didn't get a single comment. And honestly, there were times I felt like I was doing something pointless. But I kept going. Every day, I woke up and worked, even without seeing results immediately. Don't just focus on instant results. This is a common mistake that many people make, focusing only on immediate outcomes. People want to see results right away, but the truth is, in a long-term journey, you won't be able to see immediate results from start. That's when you need to learn to love the process itself. One of the strategies I applied was focusing on doing the best job I could each day, rather than just looking at the end result. When you don't reach your goal right away, remember that every action, every step in the process has value. The benefits of daily work. There's a quote I really like. Every day you work, you move one step closer to your goal. This feeling might not come immediately, but every day, you're taking a small step forward. Continuing to work every day, even when there are no clear results, is how you build habits and discipline in your work. And in the end, it's these habits that will create the big results you can't see in the beginning. Patience is a key piece. There are days when I feel exhausted. Sometimes I wonder if I can keep going, if I have the strength to overcome these challenges. But I've learned that patience is one of the most important qualities for success. Patience isn't about waiting without doing anything. Patience is continuing to act, continuing to create value every day, even when you don't see immediate results. Patience is believing that your efforts will pay off in the future. How I stay motivated during difficult times. When I feel tired and unmotivated, I often do something very simple. I look back at the steps I've taken. When you stop and look at what you've already achieved, you'll realize that every step has value, no matter how small. What matters is persistence. During the first few years, you might not see dramatic results, but I can assure you that every effort, every step is building a solid foundation for your success. Overcoming uncertain times. You will surely have days when everything doesn't go smoothly. You'll face unpredictable problems, challenges that seem impossible to overcome. These days will make you doubt yourself, and you might even think that maybe you should give up. But don't forget that one of the common traits of all successful people is that they never give up during the toughest times. Whenever you feel stuck, remember that it's part of the journey. The hardest moments are when you are closest to what you want to achieve. Don't give up just because you don't see results right away. Sharing the lesson on patience. After all these years on YouTube, I've learned something important. Success is not a sprint, but a long journey. You have to learn to be patient, learn to continue even when you don't see immediate results, and above all, trust the process. The most important lesson is, success comes to those who don't quit. Even if you don't see results today, every step you take is bringing you closer to your goal. End of chapter 12. As you've seen, the journey to success isn't always easy. But remember, no matter where you are on this journey, every step you take brings you closer to your goal. And as long as you persist, you will see the results. Always remember that success is not a destination, but a journey that we experience together. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like so we know you're with me on this journey. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click subscribe now to make sure you don't miss any new videos in the future. I'll continue sharing stories, strategies, and practical lessons to help you maintain motivation and achieve your goals. Gently but strongly, you end with a final call to action. Don't let time pass by without taking action. Let's continue moving forward step by step today. If you've watched this video till the end, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, so we are motivated to create more motivational videos for you.